is about being identified with my work, with working, and with doing things. So at the moment, my body needs to rest more, and I'm really struggling to allow that to happen. And because I can see how I'm identified with doing things and working and studying and having sessions and creating content, and I can see how there's a lot of limitation there for me, and I don't feel good if I'm not being productive.
Okay, so you're burning out, is that what I'm hearing?
I don't burn out because I feel good when I'm doing it, but the thing is because I am connected with what my body needs, so I am hearing it, but there's a lot of discomfort within that, and you know what I mean? Like I don't feel I'm burned out. It feels more like I want to be able to do it naturally, not being identified with it, because even when I'm doing it, if I'm identified with it, it's not healthy, to put it in a way, like just to be working, because if I'm not productive, I'm not feeling good about myself. Does that make sense?
Okay, so you've tied your esteem to your work?
Yes.
Okay. And so given that, what do you want?
I would like to feel valuable if I work and if I rest and if I do whatever else I want to do, and not needing to be doing some things that are specific for me to feel worthy.
Okay. And you're not doing that at the moment. You're just working, I'm guessing.
Or when I'm not feeling good about myself.
Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. So, all right. Well, pal, let's get into it. And so given that, what do you want?
I want to stop attaching my self-esteem to external things.
Okay, you want to stop doing that. What facilitates you in the first place? How do you know you've attached your esteem to what it is you do?
Because of how I feel when I'm doing it, or how I feel when I'm not. Like if I have more clients, I feel better. If I earn more money, I feel better. If I am being productive, or I receive feedback from the content I'm creating, I feel better. And if I'm not, I'm not.
Okay, when you say feel better, what do you mean?
I feel like as if I have a purpose, like there's meaning to it, to what I'm doing, and to being here, and now I'm attached to that.
Okay. What do you mean attached?
Like now I need to be doing something that I would consider purposeful or meaningful for the planet, for humanity, for me, for the people around me, to feel good about myself. So if there's a whole day in which I don't do anything like that, I feel like, oh, what have I done today? You know?
So that's what you say to yourself. That's not a feeling, that's a thinking. That's what you say to yourself in your head. What have I done today?
Yeah, sometimes I do.
What's the answer that comes back?
When I haven't been doing those things, it's like nothing, like just resting, you know, or being with friends, but nothing that doesn't kind of fulfill me in the moment when I'm thinking about that.
Yep. Okay, but I'm still not clear on the feelings that arise. That's the thinking, right?
The feeling is it's like emptiness in the middle of my chest and my belly.
Emptiness.
Like yes, it's this emptiness of, and these last days it felt a bit like loneliness of, you know, just not being there doing the things that sometimes not even having the energy to do it, and knowing that my body needs to rest, but not wanting to do that.
And the feeling of emptiness comes up.
Yeah.
Okay. How long has this been happening for, pal?
I think it's been happening since I started working when I was 17. Like after I finished high school, I started working. And
what was going on back there then when you were 17 and you first had this feeling come up?
I guess at that time, when I finished high school, I wanted to be able to go on holidays with my friends. So I was working for that, like to be able to maintain myself. That's the first time that I remember leaving the office and feeling really valuable. Like, oh, today I've nailed it. Like I've worked really hard. And
valuable to whom?
I want to say to myself, but I guess.
Who was the object of your value?
At that time, my boss.
Okay. Were you getting feedback from them that you were valuable because of what you were doing?
No, not specifically. I was getting feedback of this, maybe that I was a great employee, or that I've done a great job. And I was already attaching that too.
Okay.
But now that I'm thinking about that, like I've always been really good at school. Like throughout all my high school and primary school, I've always been like taking 10s all the time, like A's, how they say it here. Like,
okay. So you've learned to link achievement to self-worth.
Yes.
Okay. And to not achieve means?
Not being valuable. Like
not being valuable. But it's not just achieving, isn't it?
No, it's achieving specific things.
So achieving specifically what?
The things that I think will make me valuable. So it could be getting a promotion. Like at my second job, it was about being promoted. Then it was about having more people in charge. So I ended up having like 8 people that I was working with. And then it was about I don't know how much money I earned when I first came to Australia. And now it's about how many clients I have. And, it just changes.
Right. So there's a definite quantity driver in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, quantity is how you keep track of how you're going. And if you don't, then emptiness begins to arise in the center of your chest, did you say?
Yeah, more like in my gut.
In your gut. Okay.
And when we started working throughout that goals are static and all about that, I started working of not having goals for my business. And that it's so hard for me because
is it?
I don't have what to measure my worthiness with.
Right. So if there's a positive intention for you measuring your worthiness through what you can contribute and how you can make a difference, what's the positive intention in that for you? To tie the two together.
To know how I'm doing. Like, because if I have in my mind, it sounds silly, but if I have a benchmark, then I can know, okay, am I going well? Like, how would I know if I am doing things well, or if I don't have something to compare it with?
Okay, so you're doing a good job if?
Depends on the context. Like if I am maintaining myself economically, if I'm having this amount of clients or earning this amount of money or having this referral ratio, for example, or conversion rate.
Right. So you've attached, knowing you've done a good job internally, but to external measures, not people. So you don't need to hear from people that you're doing fabulously well for it to mean anything to you. You know you're doing well through these markers that you set up, right?
Well, yes. And at the same time, if a client gives me positive feedback, I feel better about myself.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay. And if they give you negative feedback?
Yeah, well, I work through it. Like I don't feel that great.
So what does not helping other people mean to you? What does not helping?
That I'm not making the most of this life.
Okay.
Like,
and so that's a belief you hold.
yes.
And so you believe in order for you to make the most out of this life, you've got to be making a difference all the time.
I don't know if all the time, but
Or otherwise you feel hollow.
yes. Yes, I think I had so many opportunities in this lifetime to be where I am now, like to, like educationally, like financially, to be able to study, like coming here, learning English, like learning coaching. Like I find that it's a privilege that I have to be able to have gone through all these things and now have the possibility to share that with other people. So I find that if I am not doing that, I'm wasting a lot of value I've been giving in this lifetime.
Right. So there's a constant deficit you've got to fulfill.
Yes.
And a quantitative one, a quantitative deficit you've got to fill.
Yes.
In order for you to feel okay about yourself. When you don't feel okay about yourself, how do you feel? You said you feel hollow. What other feelings come along with you not feeling okay about yourself?
Sadness sometimes.
Okay, say more.
Yeah, I can feel, that hollowness makes me feel sad because it's, yeah, I might cry. I find that helps me a lot. Like when I cry, I can really release that energy, and after that I can take responsibility again and choose again.
What do you feel sad about?
When that happens, I feel sad about not feeling good about myself and about what I'm not doing. I feel sad about not feeling productive. And
right.
Yeah.
So you've tied your happiness to being productive.
Yes.
When did you decide to do that?
Like I really, I don't know, I think I've been doing it like for so long. Like I've always been really like, I've never haven't done homework for school. Like I used to take my parents and tell them, I will organize your accounts because you're not organized. And when I was like 10, I would help them with their accounts. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you've got to be doing something productive, something concrete in the world, making a difference in order for you to feel okay about yourself, in order for you to feel as though you're worthwhile.
Yes.
Do you hear what that presupposes?
Yes, that I'm not.
Right. How long you had that belief in there?
Yeah, that's been there for a long time.
Okay. How do you know that? Where does it come from?
Because when I think about, I think that comes from, I don't know, from when I was very young, because when I think about those times, I've always been really demanding on myself. It's that that need to be doing so many things to be worthy have been driven me for since I can remember. I don't know. I think I was bullied when I was very young, so that could have come from there. I think my mom runs the same belief, or she has been running that for a long time. So I think I've also grown up seeing her feel unworthy as well. And my dad as well in many ways, like they are both doing a lot of work at the moment, but
so you took on that belief from them that in order for you to be worthwhile, you had to be producing something, making a difference, helping people out, helping society out. Otherwise, you know, that belief would arise within you that you know, you're what?
The word that just came up to my mind is useless.
Useless. You believe that.
I didn't know I did, but I guess I do. Yeah.
And so to offset that, you got to help. You got to make a difference to stop that feeling from coming up of emptiness that you associate with a lack of worthiness, a lack of worthwhileness as a human being. Right. And if this was a motivation strategy for you, pal, what are you motivating yourself toward?
Towards making a difference. Toward, again, something's coming to my mind that I want to reject, but I'm going to share it, towards being someone.
Being a somebody, right. This is how you be a somebody. So then if you're not doing this to be a somebody, who are you?
Someone that came to the world and is not like making things different, better.
Okay. And if you were your client, yeah, how would you coach you through this? Now you can see that this is about a self-belief structure, that you're somehow not good enough as you are, and you need to become somebody in order to be valuable. And to do that, you've got to be constantly, you know, productive, helping people, moving things along. And the moment you stop doing that, an emptiness comes up that motivates you to get back out there and get amongst it and get productive and keep doing it, right? So if you're a client of yours, how would you coach you to this?
Are you asking like a question I would ask, or a pattern, or?
I'm just asking you, how would you coach someone to this? What would you say to them? What question would you ask them? You're a coach.
Yeah. I would ask them if this is true for them now that they are seeing it. If they think now that they are seeing it, if it's true. And then after, I would ask them about the positive intention of thinking they are not valuable. Like if there was a positive intention of not believing that, that they are worthy, what would that be?
Yeah.
And potentially I would explore the meanings around that, and there could be a belief change pattern or inquiry into writing down all their thoughts, all the thoughts they have about themselves every morning when they are not doing things, to then read through them and look for patterns.
Yeah. Do you have permission to experience yourself as worthless?
Oh. I think I haven't, but I could give myself that permission.
Because, you know, what I'm really seeing here, pal, is that you're constantly comparing yourself.
Mm.
And you're constantly asking the question, how can I, as you say, become a somebody? Do you have permission to be a nobody?
I don't think I have been having permission to do that, but I want to give me permission to be a nobody.
Do you have permission to be greedy?
No.
Do you have permission to genuinely be selfish?
No, I find that very hard.
Yeah. And yet your identity compass says that you're 80% caring for self. Isn't that interesting? So do you see, you're trying to help everybody as you just helping yourself. And yet you don't have permission to be selfish. Do you hear the paradox in that?
It's so confusing.
What's a paradox? You don't have permission to be selfish, yet you are. Selfishly helping so that you can feel good about yourself.
And the same with the comparison. It's like comparing myself so that I know I'm doing things right.
Yeah.
Compared to something to feel good about myself.
Yeah. Whereas you could shortcut the whole lot by having full permission to be a greedy bitch who really, really enjoys looking after herself. So you just unlock the whole system with that. It's like a finger puzzle, you know, the more you struggle, the tighter it gets. The more you resist the drive inside of you to look after yourself, yeah, the more you make it about everything else and about being a good person because you're productively doing all that, just maintains the belief that you're not.
What comes up is when I think about only thinking about myself is like how would that impact because I am thinking about myself from what we are talking now, right?
Yeah.
It's just that
paradoxically, you could be there for other people in the way they probably would like you to be there. Not the way you'd like to be there.
Yeah, I guess it's this the first thing that comes up is if I only, but then it's black and white, right? Like if I only think about myself, which is not what you're saying, then what if people don't like it, or what if I don't want to do all the things I'm doing, and then if it's not true, it's not true, right?
Yeah. Do you have permission not to be liked?
That's really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's actually how you care for yourself is just by constantly trying to help in order to get liked. It's like the Facebook syndrome. Yeah. But you're trying.
It feels genuine.
Right?
Is it that ingrained? In the moment, it feels genuine that I'm like, I really enjoy doing, like, since we talked about this a while ago, I've been practicing to really tune into why am I actually doing that? And in the moment, it feels like it's true. Is it that I'm still not seeing it?
Still not seeing what?
That it's not, or that it's for me. Like in the moment, it feels like I'm doing it for someone else.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you're true, you're doing it to feel worthwhile, to feel worthy. It's just that you're so used to, telling yourself that I'm doing it for you. But really, I'm doing it so that I can feel good about myself. I can feel worthwhile as a human being. It's just that your attention is on them, not here.
And how would I know if I'm not doing it for that? Because I wouldn't care if I do it or not.
You wouldn't care if you did or you didn't.
Okay.
It just wouldn't matter. And so now, are you moved to or not? Do you see? You don't have to, but you could choose to, you could choose not to. The choice is yours. And the point is you have a choice. That's the point, right? That's where you're choosing. Other than that, it's automated. You're doing it to feel good. So 2 really quickly, because we're going to then jump into going and practicing. But here, if you look here, there's 2 really big drivers of this. The first driver here is your toward motivation, motivated toward becoming a good person. The second really big one is consensus. Look how big your consensus is, pal. Absolutely off the scale compared to polar, right? And that's your desire to be seen as a good person. Yeah. To be seen as somebody. And then look at relationship. Look how high, 90%. You don't have a choice but to focus on how your relationship's going and helping that person. You like to do. So that's another quite big one. But the real big one here is care for self, which is a driver, right? So when you put consensus and care for self, there's the drive right there. So for you is to give yourself permission not to be seen by others as a good person. Give yourself permission not to be liked, actually, as you genuinely put yourself first, which opens up a choice. That choice then is a true choice. Do I choose to help you or do I not because I've got one now? But right now you haven't got a choice. You have to help in order to get rid of the emptiness. That's not a choice. That's a drive.